Hi everybody, it's Bayyinah Monk-Nduaka, the author of Gimme Some Relationship Advice. Now, this week's topic is entitled Being a Whole Person as Being the Fundamental Foundation to have a successful relationship. Now, a whole person is the opposite of a broken person. A whole person is not a perfect person. A whole person means that you're at peace at some of the negative things that has happened in your past, and you will not allow those negative things or trauma to affect your relationships. And when I say relationships, this does not just mean love relationships or romantic relationships. The relationship side can also be connected to your personal life. As I often say, a personal life and a love life is connected. Okay, so if you have a successful and if you have a loving and successful and long-term amazing personal life with great personal relationships, then it's more likely that your love life will be successful as well. Okay, so being a broken person causes a relationship in your life to be unsuccessful. A lot of times we look at relationships and you constantly find yourself in a never-ending cycle of relationships that just don't work. Low self-esteem is one of the main common root causes of being a broken person. Okay, now low self-esteem causes a domino effect with other problems or other issues that you may have. And when I say a domino effect, that means if you line up a set of dominoes, you line them up and stand them up next to each other, and you hit one domino, the rest of them will fall down. Okay, so low self-esteem is the root cause of a lot of these issues. Some of the issues that I'm going to list are trust, communication, respect, boundary, patience problems or issues, and having an issue with being honest. Also being promiscuous. So when I talk about these lists of things that cause it, that's the root cause of low self-esteem, then what causes low self-esteem? Well, low self-esteem basically is how you view yourself in high regard or low regard. If you view yourself in a high regard, then you have a high self-esteem of yourself. If you view yourself in a low regard or think second about yourself or think that you're not good enough, then you have a low self-esteem. Okay? And the low self-esteem is caused by a lot of different things. It could be mommy or daddy issues. It could be, it's not limited to family crisis or family issues. It could be that you had problems at work, were constantly being denied or rejected at work. You could have problems when you were a child and you were teased in school, or teased when you were adult in your workplace, or just anything that caused some trauma. You may have lost a close person who was very vital in your life. And to tackle some of the issues, if you have mommy or daddy issues, maybe as a female, your mother was aggressive and you just took on those aggressive roles and those traits, and you kind of have control problems. Or maybe your mother didn't teach you how to handle herself properly in a relationship or with a man because she may have been a single mother. Or maybe as a young man, your dad just kind of left you and you just weren't there. You know, he wasn't there. And it made you grow up to feel and want someone who could fill that void for your father, you know, or your mother. You know, a lot of these things causes promiscuity as well. You know, a man or a woman may go about looking for who they can sleep with as a form of comfort. They see it as comfort. But you have to be able to understand what sex is there for. It's only for a couple of minutes. And if there's no other connection, then there's no other connection. You have to understand, you know, or a female would go around and feel as though that's how she can attract a man. Like that's how she feel close to a man. That's her form of getting affection from a man affection that she never received from her father. So we have all these issues that we have, and it causes us to be broken. Okay. And whatever issue it had that caused you to be broken, like I tell you, it causes other problems. So if you're in a relationship and the person is a manipulator, there's something that happened in his life where he never took care of his emotional well-being that caused him to be a manipulator. If he or she has some trust issues, the trust issue can stem from possibly being denied or being rejected or being disappointed by your parents. Maybe your dad or your mother when you were young said, I'm coming to see you, I'm going to see you this time, I'm going to see you this time, and they never showed up, or they just never really stepped to the plate. So you have trust issues. Trust is gone. Communication issues, I like to say, for women, a lot of women nowadays, we kind of take on this role of being the aggressor. We work our wonderful jobs and we're very accomplished, and we got to know when to stop being aggressive, when to stop talking, when to shut the mouth, when to be a little bit quiet and express how we really feel in a loving and kind way. Not say, oh, he knows what I feel, he know how I mean, he knew me for 10 years. No matter how long he's known you, he can't read your mind. That's the communication issues with the females. Now on the male side, a lot of men, they shut down. When things do not go, or they don't hear what they want to hear, or they just don't want to have an argument, because as women we can be a little bit verbal sometimes. He shut down. He don't express how he feel. He just shut down and say, oh, forget it. No, that's a problem, because it won't fix itself. Okay, you may just not want to communicate. Now respect issues, that kind with not respecting each other. You have to respect each other as a man, as a woman. We have to respect ourselves. Meaning, if you don't overtalk your mate, don't overtalk your spouse. Allow them to be who they are. Don't talk down on them. If he's a man and he have his own way of doing things, respect who he is. There's an older lady who told me, I asked her, I'm always asking older people, what can you give me advice for me? For marriage, in my marriage. And there was an older lady that told me, never put your man down. Never put your man down. Even if you guys are going out for a date and he comes out and he just looks a mess, just tell him he looks so good. Just tell him he looks good, because never beat him down, because your man goes out every day. If he's a working man, obviously, he goes out every day and face the world. The world is at his throat. So you just be nice to him. Even if he don't look too good and you guys are going for a movie, just go. The worst thing that can happen. So never put him down, always build him up. She said, never put him down, always build him up. Even if he's coming out and he got some ugly shoes on or some ugly pants, don't tell, oh, them shoes is ugly, you need to take that off. All that stuff tears us apart. So have respect. Same thing with a man. If a woman, she had laid down, she had your children, she put on a couple of pounds, respect her. Have some respect. See her in a different light. Don't put her down. Don't say things that could be mean, that could tear her apart. Because over time, all these different things of disappointment and rejection and negativity, it piles up and piles up and it piles up, and then you can't keep your head above water. So then you have the problems. Now we're talking about boundaries and space. Now boundaries and space is very important, because when you have boundaries, you have to know how to keep your boundaries. Your boundaries is basically how to respect the relationship, but understand that there's boundaries within the relationship. And that kind of ties in with respect as well. And you want to give each other space. Space meaning you go out with your friends once a month or twice a month, whatever you guys agree in your relationship. And you have to have space. When you have space in a relationship, you have to miss each other. So just hang out and have a nice time. And so that's what I mean by space. Giving each other space. And that falls in line with trust as well. You have to trust each other. And with space, another thing about space I like to add is, a lot of times when you go out, because that happens to me, I've gone out and, you're like, and I see another couple. And I see them arguing, and the guy is rude, or I see the girl going off on him, and that's just not a good relationship. So it kind of reinforces, and it reinstates my faith in my own relationship. So I begin to say, wow, I actually got a good man at home. This is what's out there, that's what's actually out there, So it reinstates your faith and your love for the space. Patience problems are caused by not having patience, Part of that is we're living in a world of everything is quick, and I call it the microwave era. We want everything quick and fast in a hurry. Okay, and everything is done for us. We have apps, everything is done within a few seconds, few minutes, 30 seconds, 90 seconds, 60 seconds. Okay, everything is done quick. So the patience issues is when a woman or a man is they don't have patience. It can be you're looking for that special someone and you just don't have patience. Everything is a process. You have to have patience in the process of getting a relationship, okay, and having a long-term, successful, healthy love. And I like to connect patience with just waiting, just having patience and having trust in him. Another thing is honesty, being honest. We have that problem with a lot of people. A lot of people are just not honest with who they are. The basic problem or root cause of being honest is self-esteem too, because the person just don't feel like, the man or the woman feel like they just don't want to be themselves. So they make up lies, or they just don't want to be 100% authentic of who they are. So be who you are, own who you are, love who you are. If that person don't respect you for who you are, then you don't need the person. You're going to have way more long-term heartache and pain than just maybe a couple of minutes of just saying, okay, this is not going to work. This is who I am. I don't have as much money as I say I do, or I may have all these children, I'm not going to lie about my kids. This is how many kids I have. So it's better to be upfront about it than get the person and then you have problems later on. And then at the end, a lot of times these relationships don't even last. So you've made up all these lies and you're not honest. And then like maybe a year or two down the line, the person find out and you're like, I don't want to be with you. So it didn't even last. So it was for nothing. I also like to use a metaphor, relationships and metaphors with patience. Is a lot of times when we're looking for relationships, we have to understand that the relationship is synonymous to going for a degree or going for a program. So when you're going for a program, you're looking for colleges, you're looking for programs in different states and colleges, and you know the requirements. The requirements will say you have to have X, Y, and Z. You have to have chemistry class, or you have to have math classes already. And then you're going on and you're doing the first year, you have this set of classes, the second year, the third year, the fourth year. And then you go on, you apply, you pay your application fee, you put your deposit down, or whatever the requirements are for that program or that university. And you know it's going to take 4 years or 2 years or maybe 6. There's some 6-year programs out there with double majors. And you know that's how long it's going to take, And even after you do the 4 years or the 2 years or the 6 years, the set amount of years, you're still going to go on. Let's say you want to be an attorney or you want to be a doctor. You're still going to go on to law school or med school. And then even after you finish that specified schooling, you're going to go off and take a test. And you have to pass the test in order to really put the ice on the cake to be official. Okay? So and the same thing, like even when you're going to college, you know that there's people that's going to drop out. There's people that's not going to last. College is not going to work for some people. And you're not going to say, hey, I'm going to college just to do 2 semesters and I'm going to be out anyway. I'm not going to be done. I'm just going to do two semesters, or I'm just going to do 2 weeks and I'll party a little bit and then I'm not going to graduate. I'm going to just do all this for nothing. Now, it's the same thing as a relationship. You have to put in the work. You have to know that you have to be a whole person in order to have a long-term relationship. Okay? You have to understand that you have to stand and be a whole person. Have love in your heart, be honest, have high self-esteem, have trust, have trust in your heart, be able to communicate, be willing to step up to the plate and do what you have to do in that relationship so you can go on. Now, I know society kind of has we have this relationship and negativity is like, it works hand in hand in our society. When you see relationship or marriage, it's like, it's like connected with negativity. So when you go to college, you see so many people that's successful. So being negative and knowing that you're not going to be successful in the college is not even in your head. As I study, as long as I do my projects on time, I'm not going to be the one to drop out. I'm not going to be the one to flunk out. So I'm still going to go at it anyway. And I hope that people, that's the whole analogy that I like to use for relationships, is going to college and knowing that. Even though there's some people that won't make it, even though there's a chance that you won't make it, but guess what? You're still doing it and you're going wholeheartedly into that way of having a successful relationship. So that's the whole idea. So I'm going to discuss on how to be a whole person. The first step is to release resentment and learn to forgive. You have to forgive and you have to release your resentment. You have the option to recognize and deal with this and become a better person. Now, releasing resentment and forgiving is very hard. Maybe you were young and you were treated like a third-class citizen from your mom, or there was some favoritism that went on, or maybe you was raped, maybe you were molested, maybe you were physically abused, maybe you were given up for adoption, maybe all these things, it's going through those things. So if you went through some really serious crisis, you have to release resentment and you have to forgive for yourself, not for the other person, but for yourself. Okay? You have the option to recognize and deal with it and become a better person. Or else what you become is that person who hurt you the most. You can talk to the person or address these issues, but sometimes they just may not acknowledge it. Okay? And when that happens, that's when you have to just know when to forgive. For some people, you have to understand, for some people, especially with parents that already was dealing with emotional issues when they grew up, or what happened with them when they were young. Sometimes it's not easy for parents to own up to what they did wrong. Okay? It's not easy to own up to their fuck-ups. Okay? So they never really own up to it. They may even switch it around and act like you were the problem child or you were the one that did it wrong. And I'm just using this parent-child as just one situation. You know, there's other things, you know. And some people just won't take accountability. They just won't take accountability. They won't own up to it, you know. So if you continue to try to convince them and they still will deny it and, you know, they just turn it on you, all it's going to do is make you even more upset. It's going to infuriate you more. It's going to turn into rejection issues more. And guess what? It's just going to be anger. And then you take that and you build that up and you build that up over the years. And you know, so you have to learn to forgive. And also keep in mind that it's not your responsibility to make the other person take responsibility of what they did wrong. Okay? You can't make them take responsibility for their actions. You see? If they don't want to, you can't make them. Okay? So you must forgive it and just release it for yourself. Okay? Sometimes in life we don't have all the answers. We can't get what we want on a platter. You see? It doesn't always come like that. So if you tried and you tried and you tried and the person just keeps saying, look, and it wasn't me, you was a bad child, or you did this or you did that, or you don't understand, and blah, 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 then sometimes you have to take it upon yourself to just release that resentment out of your heart. Very hard. It may be very hard for some people, but you just have to do it. It's not your responsibility to make somebody be honest with you or make someone else take responsibility of the hurt they did to you. So what you're responsible for is yourself. So that release that. Okay? So release resentment and forgive. Is you have to concentrate, meditate, and pray. Religion, whatever your spiritual religion is that you follow, then be that, do that. Okay? Whatever, go to a quiet place, pray, talk to God, relax, read some love poem, listen to some nice quiet music, connect to yourself. Set aside about 15, 20, or 30 minutes per day and do this, whether it's in the morning, in the afternoon while you're at work, or in bed before you go to sleep. Set aside time for you, for your emotions to heal. Okay? Now the third step in being on how to be a whole person is surround yourself with wonderful and loving individuals. Honest, loving, giving, caring, happy, positive individuals. Do that. Okay? People that's always at you wanting this or wanting that, and it's a one-way relationship or friendship. It's you're constantly giving more than you're receiving. And I don't mean by monetary or material things. I'm meaning like emotional things, okay? And one of the things that you can kind of test yourself or use a litmus test is if you're around a family or a friend or an associate, and after you're around them, how do you feel? Do you feel fulfilled? Do you feel happy? Do you have feelings of feeling great? Do they make you feel happier after you got off the phone with them, after you spend some time with them? Do they make you feel inspired? Are you happy? Are you inspired? If you're not happy, or if you don't feel inspired, or you don't feel love, then maybe you want to reevaluate that relationship or that friendship. Okay? You want to reevaluate that. Now, if the person is going through some issues, maybe they may have lost a family friend, a family member, maybe going through something with work, maybe having financial trouble, maybe it may not be a good time. So, you know, for that reason, you know, obviously we all go through things in life, so you don't want to hold them to that. But in general terms, if you're always around someone and you just don't feel fulfilled or inspired or loved after you're done, you just feel stressed, or you feel this heavy burden that they laid on you, then maybe it's time to reevaluate that. Okay? So surround yourselves with positive individuals. That's the third step. Now, the fourth step into being a whole, on how to be a whole person, is build up your self-esteem. Know that you are worth something, that you are enough, that you are made in the image that you're supposed to be made in the image of. Okay? The Creator created us in his own way of making us. You know, you look at the trees, you look at the sky, you look at the animals, you just look around and know that you are who you are because you're who you are. He made us all to be who we're supposed to be in this world, okay? And you are enough. There's no mistakes. So know that you are who you are and you are important. So also build up your self-esteem. And the book I talk about, there's a chapter called Self-Care and Self-Preservation. You have to care for yourself and you have to preserve yourself. In the life of your full potential, you have to preserve yourself and you have to care for yourself, okay? So know to build up your self-esteem. Every day you wake up in the morning, look in the mirror and say, oh my God, you're a bad mama jamma, or you just bad. Like, you know, I love the movie. I love the movie with Martin Lawrence, Thin Line Between Love and Hate. And in the beginning of the movie, he's like, I know I'm the man. And he's taking a shower. He's like wiping the thing. He's telling his son, I'm it. You know, even though he was a player, but I'm you know, that whole idea of waking up in the morning and telling yourself you're great. You know, so build your self-esteem up. Practice self-care and self-preservation. And the fifth step on how to be a whole person, learn to say no. And I'm not saying say no to everybody. Learn to say no. A lot of people who have low self-esteem can't say no. And they can't say no because out of fear that they may lose respect or they may lose that person in their life that's asking them for that. If someone is constantly asking you for something, trust me, most folks who are the askers that ask for favors a lot, they normally have a list of yes people that they ask questions for. They wouldn't ask the no people. You see? They wouldn't go ask JoJo down the street. They wouldn't go ask Tiffany around the way, you know, because they know that they're going to be like, no, yes. But I'll talk to JoJo later on because I know he's a no person, but he's still their friend though. They're still friends, but they'll ask certain people who they're going to ask. So get in the habit of having a backbone and learn to say no. Sometimes when you say yes all the time, you're giving more than what you can give. And then you're sacrificing your own self for somebody else. I'm not saying say no all the time, but learn when to say no. If you really can't do something, learn to say no, because when you say yes all the time, guess what's going to happen? You're going to be used by the people that want to use people. And after you become used, you're not going to feel fulfilled. You're going to feel empty. You're going to feel worthless. So if you're constantly going around saying yes to people who don't have no good intentions for you, guess what? You're going to be constantly, in the end, feeling empty. And all the emptiness is going to make you feel broken. Because you're empty. You're not filling yourself up with joy and happiness and inspiration, okay? Another step into help yourself become a whole person is helping others. Help others in the need that may need help. And that helping others is not means you have to help people that you know. It could be people that you don't know. You may want to go to a volunteer shelter or somewhere, go to a retirement home, a rehab place. You know, help other people, an orphanage, help other people that will really, really, really appreciate what you give. Because the people that really, really need the help, trust me, they will really say, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Nobody come around here and help us. They will really say thank you. And it's not for a selfish reason that you're doing it. It goes both way reason. You're helping someone else and it's also helping yourself. And seventh step on to being a whole person is work on yourself, your own financial status. So whatever you want to do to build your finances, try and work on that. And I'm not saying you have to be the next Warren Buffett or the next Oprah Winfrey. You have to work on yourself, okay, as far as your finances. Because in a relationship, you want to make sure that you're whole because you're preparing yourself to be in a relationship. Okay, so you want to work on your finances. You want to be the one to have means to help out and bring something to the table. Okay, so if you want to go to school because you want to do HVAC, or you want to be a beautician and do hair, or be a barber, or if you want to be a doctor or be a lawyer or be an entrepreneur, take those classes the necessary that you need to take in order to become that. So by the time God brings that person to you that you're supposed to be with, guess what? You're already on your way on making money. Okay, money is one of the very, 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 very heavy, stressful burdens in a relationship, in a marriage, in a long-term relationship. And if you want a long-term relationship to last, you don't want it to be where you're with somebody or both of you guys don't have the money. You know, you're both just all over the place. Don't have money, or one don't have any means to make money, or don't have any money. And then the other person over time, if she's working or if he's working, over time that person will get burned out. They'll get burned out. And the marriage will take a toll, the relationship will take a toll, and then you'll find yourself filing those papers for divorce. So you want to make sure you handle yourself, your finances, make sure you get your career going. I don't care how old you are. If you're 40, you can still do 2-year programs, you know, live a healthy life and do what you have to do for yourself, you know, be a whole person. Okay, so all of these things are meant to be reevaluated, meaning like every few years or every year you have to evaluate. It's an ongoing process. You can see, so I'm married, and you know, if I'm married and I've been married for 5 years, guess what? I still have to go back and do these steps, you know, because I'm still going to go through people that may have affected me, or I still may, you know, not handle things in the past that I didn't do it the first time. So it's an ongoing cycle. So you have to constantly reevaluate and have steps to be a better person. You know, careers, you go on to college, you go off into the professional world and you work. Okay, you're very successful. But guess what? A lot of times you have to maintain that. 5 years you have to go to reevaluation, continuing education, continuing studies, okay, to maintain your license. A lot of professions do that. So it's the same thing. Once you're in a relationship, you got to do continuing studies. This is your leave your relationship, maintain, and to upkeep your relationship, you go back to these steps. So it's very important. So now that we have it, how to be a whole person in order to have and maintain a successful and long-term relationship. Thanks, guys. I wish you all the best, all the happiness, and all the healthy love. I'm Bayyinah Monk-Nduaka, author of Gimme Some Relationship Advice, and I will see you soon. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.